Hello and welcome. Today I am covering the most frequently asked questions I get about shaving with a cutthroat style razor. A lot of barbers aren't practicing this inside of the shops, but I definitely advocate for it because this is a fabulous tool. And if there's any questions that you have about it, like many people have, I'm here to answer them for you, and let's jump in. First question that I get asked is, where did I get my face shave training? I did go to barber school. Unfortunately, I didn't get as much practice there. I mostly shaved on a balloon. The barbershop where I was working, I did a lot more like actual face shaves, and the shop owner really helped me take that leap into shaving and getting comfortable with it. Where was I trained formally? That happened in southern Italy at the Scapicchio Academy. It was amazing. It was the most elegant shave I've ever seen, and very well planned out and executed. It's super organized and very comfortable as a barber to shave this way. And after having that experience, I'm just so elated to share this with people because I think it makes shaving so much easier and very professional. Highly recommend the Scapicchio Academy. And question number 2, is it legal to shave with a multi-use razor? I'm in the state of Illinois, and I looked through all the barber state board sanitation laws, and this is never even mentioned in there. It would be categorized as a tool or implement that must be kept sanitary. It does say specifically that any single-use item must be disposed of. Let's say the chevette, if you were using this and you had a replaceable blade in it, you would need to dispose of it. But any multi-use tool like your razor, like your clips or your trimmers and clippers, these need to be kept clean and sanitary for each client. It does vary state to state. So I found that in Rhode Island, their state board sanitation says it's explicitly against the law there to use this razor. So don't use it in Rhode Island. I would say when you do your own research, make sure you're using a credible website so that the information you know is good. And if it doesn't mention a cutthroat razor, multi-use razor, traditional razor, conventional razor, if it doesn't mention this, then proceed and then just be sanitary, because once you try this, you will love it. Question number 3 is, how do I disinfect my razor? I use Barbicide in my shop, and I've read that you can also use isopropyl alcohol to submerge the blade and disinfect it after use and after being stropped. The big reason why people are worried it can't be kept clean is because this strop is porous, and this is leather material. You can't put alcohol on this, you can't get it wet, and you can't disinfect it the same way you can steel. Your razor needs to be put in Barbicide for 10 minutes after you strop it, and then again you need to put it in Barbicide after you complete a shave. So after the shave is done, you're going to rinse this under warm water to get all the soap off of it, and then you're going to use a antibacterial soap, and you can use a bristle brush to get in between like these slots here. So you can use like a pipe cleaning type brush like that with some antibacterial soap to make sure it's nice and clean. Then you rinse it all with water and dry off the scales. Then you're going to submerge the blade into Barbicide again for 10 minutes. After the 10 minutes is up, you're going to take it out, rinse it, dry it, and if you want to, you can put a thin layer of oil on it. This is just blade lube, and then that's going to prevent rust and protect your blade. If you want to put isopropyl alcohol in a little spray bottle, you can spray alcohol on the scales, and that should be okay too. All right, so then you're getting the alcohol disinfecting quality on the parts that you can't submerge or put into an autoclave. And once it's all clean and protected, you can just put it into a covered container until the next time that you need it. That is the cleaning procedure for your straight razor. To the next question, What kind of straight razor should I buy? There's tons of different ones and so many stylish ones, and it can be tempting to pick one up just because it looks really cool, but there's a few things that you would want to look for when you're shopping for them. So let's use this one as an example. I got this one at the Academy. I did all of my sharpening drills on it, but this is the beginner style. This is a 6/8 width, and it has a round point, so that describes this area, and it has a half hollow grind. So the grind is the way the razor is shaped, and that tells you how much metal is removed up to the spine here. The half hollow grind is really good when you are doing the shave because it offers flexibility. The razor is really fine and thin, so when you're doing shaves like up against the grain, this is going to absorb the vibration of the shave and the hair being removed. When you go to sharpen it on the whetstones, a half hollow grind is durable enough to not give you any issues when you're sharpening it. If you had an extra hollow, that is going to be a little bit more fragile, so definitely more care should be used when you're going to sharpen them. That's what I would say for a beginner. 6/8 round point to prevent nicks and a half hollow grind. Okay, that's for like a full face shave. You're doing the whole thing. If you're just doing like the neck cleanup, line up, cleaning around the mouth and the goatee area, then you could use a 5/8 razor. This one has a square point, so it's going to be really good for detail work when you're going around. It's a little bit more narrow, so the visibility is better, and yes, the point helps you get those articulate areas here and there. That's for lineups and detail work. Are there any brands that I recommend? There's a lot of good brands out there. Dovo's a really good quality brand. There's Izzard, La Lune. There's tons of them out there that are high quality, but it might be better for you to shop by price point. So I would say for your first razor and you want good quality, spend around 80 to 100 bucks. Really good qualities can go into the hundreds. I mean, you name it, depending how ornate they are and the materials and how unique it is, they could get quite expensive. If you want to just practice stropping and you want to practice drills on your whetstone, you could get a gold dollar razor. If something goes wrong with it, you won't break your heart. If you had bought your first razor for like 200 bucks and then you drop it on the floor or you chip it on a stone, or you could just get a gold dollar when you're just doing drills and stuff. Now that you know which razor to buy, where do you get it? There's a couple of websites that I've gone to get my supplies from. One is Griffith's Shaving Goods. The other is Razor Emporium. They sell new razors and previously owned or vintage razors. They're very good. I have a few from them and have been happy with them. They also offer like sharpening services. Say you found a razor at thrift shops, which is another good place to find razors. You could send it in to one of these companies and they will do razor restoration for you and or sharpen it if you want. And then sharpening products and materials, I get them from sharpeningsupplies.com. That's where I get like sharpening stones and strop dressing and stuff like that. They'll have a whole bunch of sharpening related things that you can buy. When you're looking at websites or you find one that I didn't mention, just make sure that the razor they're selling has a lot of details and all of the specs and descriptions of that razor. You might find one with this really cool scales and it has like this Damascus, like that swirly pattern on the blade. Sure, it looks really good, but you don't want to go for all style and no substance, so make sure you're reading the descriptions, make sure the price point seems right. Happy shopping! Another frequently asked question is, does the strop sharpen the blade? My answer is no, not exactly. The stones are what really sharpen the blade because when you're going through the whetstones, you're actually removing pieces of metal from the blade. When you get to the strop, you're just polishing the edge, so to speak. So look at it like this. The wet stones go from coarse grits to finer grits. So once you get to the finer grits, the scratches on the razor are going to get smaller and smaller and smaller until you get to a super smooth surface like the leather. And then that is going to make the scratches even smoother, smaller, and then it's going to help align the edge of the blade. When you're removing metal with the stones, you get like these little metal burrs. You need to look at it under a microscope to see it, but the strop is going to help just get rid of that and give you a really polished and fine edge. It does make it a little sharper, but that's not the purpose of the strop. It's more for polishing. And with that being said, which strop do you buy? There are tons of choices. This one is by the Illinois Razor Strop Company in Chicago. This is the number 127. It's just shy of 3 inches wide. It's a cowhide strop, and this has a pretty nice feel to it. This is the one I would actually recommend when you are just starting out, because when you are going to strop with your razor, if you have an accident, this strop isn't so expensive that you'll cry if you put a big scratch in it or nick part of it because you didn't turn your razor the correct way. This is perfect for starting out. My favorite strop to use is this one, the English bridle strop. This is a really high quality leather. It's super smooth, it's super flat, and it's 3 inches wide. The width is going to make it so the entire blade will be stropped just by going across, and there's no need to go diagonally with this. All around, my favorite. I think this one was around $100 or so, and this one about $50. I don't know if you can really see the difference in texture, but one is definitely a little bit more processed and smooth. You'll be able to feel a difference when you're using different types of leather, and depending on the materials and how these are made, they can get super expensive too. Another common question I get is, how often do I sharpen it? I strop it before each shave, and it should last you between 3 to 5 shaves. It depends on the beard, right? Let's say for personal use, if a man has a really dense and coarse beard, he's probably gonna get like maybe up to 3 shaves out of it before he needs to go back to the whetstones. If somebody has like a finer medium beard or like just not that much, they could probably go up to 5 times. For my clients, after each shave, I at least go back to the finishing stone for some passes, because I can't test the razor out on my own face. And this would be the surefire way to see how comfortable the razor is shaving. I would recommend at least go back to your finishing stone between each shave. If you know your client is got a really coarse beard and they're coming in for a full face shave, then definitely take your razor and go on the stones for a little bit. You don't have to go crazy or anything, but I'm just going to give you a look inside my sharpening station here. This is my workbench. Here I have an 8K stone. This would be what I would use when I'm just going back for a touch-up. And then if I'm just using my finishing stone, I use this one. It's like a 14K, so ultra fine. If you don't have your own beard to test these out on, the best way that you can test them is by doing a hanging hair test. I keep hair inside of my workbench. It's just mannequin hair, and I'll pull a piece of it off. Usually the hanging hair has no tension to it other than you holding it, and if you just drop it on your razor's edge, it should just break easily. So that would be a great way to test out your razor. The next question naturally is, which sharpening stones do I use? You can get stones for anywhere from like $20 to $50 if you are just doing drills and you just want to practice. When you start getting into more high quality stones, they are going to get a little bit more expensive, but they are going to make your sharpening go much faster. My favorite one to sharpen with is this one. This is the Naninwa Advanced Superstone. This cuts the metal really fast. so you don't have to do as many passes on this. And I also love it because, again, the width is about 3 inches, which means it's going to go all the way across the blade. The other kind of stone that you can use is a Belgium stone. It's a natural stone. These are going to be more expensive for sure. This is a beautiful natural stone, and you use this one by making a slurry. Slurry happens when you take another piece of the stone when it's wet and rub the stone on top of it. And what happens is you create a slurry, or it's like a milky liquid or a mud kind of. Then you are going to take your razor and do your passes that way. As you progress, you are going to add a little bit more water and thin out that slurry or make it lighter, more transparent as you go. This type of sharpening, you have to be a little bit more intuitive about it, because you aren't going by a numbered measurement. You're going by how thick or thin the slurry is and feeling the way the razor is against the stone, the feel of it as you're doing the passes. And then you can do tests like shaving your arm and then doing a hanging hair test. And so this is what a lot of shave enthusiasts love. It takes a little bit more practice to start getting the feel for this style, and these get much more expensive. I would say when you're starting out, going for the stones that are around like $30 to $50, and just try some different brands and see what you think. When you go to sharpeningsupplies.com, you'll get to read about all of them. They offer pretty good descriptions and even some instructional videos on the products you can buy there. Another common question is, how do I sanitize my lather brush? When you are researching your state board sanitation laws, there are some states that say you can't use a lather brush at all, so just please make sure you do your research first. There's nothing like that in the Illinois state sanitation laws that I found forbidding use of a lather brush. The way that I take care of this is after the shave is done, I rinse it under water to get all of the soap out. Then I massage in antibacterial soap. I just use a clear antibacterial soap. No scents or anything like that. And I swish that around. Then I rinse it under water and take a paper towel and squeeze excess water out, and then I hang it up to dry. This has to be completely dry before the next use, and once it is completely dry, spray it with isopropyl alcohol. That is going to help add another layer of disinfection to this. Then you would store it in your container until the next use. Another common question I get is, what kind of soap do I use? And there's a few different kinds that I use in my shop. For a lot of my shaves, I just use the Pro Rosso Sensitive Skin Shaving Cream. This one comes into a tube. It can really nicely just be put, either a squeeze of it into the lather bowl and you can mix it up. If you prefer to build the lather on the face, you can put some lather right into your brush, massage it, and then you can build lather right on the face. And then this could also be used in your hot lather dispenser. So this has a couple of different application styles, but I think a lot of barbers might favor something like this because you don't double dip with this. It's very convenient and very sanitary, and that's why I do a lot of my shaves with this one. Other soaps you can use include hard soaps like this one. This is like a bar of soap. You can take your lather brush and apply soap to the brush this way. Then you would dip your brush in water and build lather on the face. You can take a spatula and scrape some of the soap into your bowl and then put your brush in here and whip the lather into the bowl. These are, I think, the most authentic style of shave soap that you can use. There are so many handcrafted types of soaps that you can get and experiment with, from really hard soaps to maybe a little firm but softer soaps and different scents. These can be really fun to shop for if you want to be the most classic or traditional style. And then the other shaving soap or medium you could use is like a shave gel. This one is the level 3. This is really good. I mean, if you want something that's fast and efficient, it's clear. So if you're doing like detail work, all you have to do is wet the skin, put a little bit of this gel on, and it is super slick and it stays slick. And then you also get visibility. This is definitely the modern, most convenient, slippery shaving soap that you can use. Just depends on who's your client, what kind of barber are you, and then you can choose which different soap you want. Now I just have one more bonus question that I get. Do you have any advice for a beginner? My advice would be, don't get overwhelmed or discouraged when you see other people around you succeeding. Remember that it takes time and repetition to improve yourself, so don't let that self-doubt creep in, and just improve a little bit at a time. It's not a race. Try to laser focus on 1 or 2 skills per week and just make that your emphasis. And then when it starts feeling easier, move on to the next thing. When you feel uncomfortable trying something new, you are in the right place. Remember and think of this as a growing pain to your success. When you're a little uncomfortable, you are in the sweet spot. In the beginning, prioritize your client's overall experience, especially when you're just practicing with face shaves, because they're going to remember more how you made them feel and how they were treated more than your technique. A quick reminder that learning means nothing if you don't apply it. So if there was something you took away from today's video, investigate a little bit and then actually use it, because it doesn't mean anything to consume content and information unless you actually apply it. And those are the most common questions I get asked about straight razor shaving with the Cutthroat razor. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you want to get a free downloaded copy of all the questions and answers I just talked about, you can look at the link in my description and it will take you to my Stan store where you can download a reference for free. And if you found it useful, share it to somebody else, because they might have the same questions you had and are just starting their face shaving journey inside of the barbershop. Also, if you have additional questions for me, please leave a comment, because all of these questions were based on conversations I had with people online who were curious and interested. So if you have a question about something I didn't cover, please leave a comment and I will for sure get back to you. Until the next one, happy shaving!